Hey guys, I'm back today with a new video on the Pulsar X2 Mini and my thoughts on the mouse after about a month of usage. To start off, the Pulsar X2 Mini is weighing in at 52 grams on my scale, but can be 1 gram off, give or take. It features Kel 8.0 switches. Now I know there has been some complaints in regards to how the switches were implemented, and full disclosure, I have a copy from the second batch, not the original launch batch, which according to Pulsar has since been corrected. With all that being said, I've had zero issues with my switches. Now, they aren't necessarily the best iteration of Kel 8.0s I've used, but they are still done very well here. Now, mouse 1 and 2 have very minimal pre and post travel. The switch is very easy to actuate, which makes spamming really easy here, and mouse 1 and 2 bottoming out for some users in the first batch seems to have been fixed, as well as any wobbling and any squeaking noises from mouse 1 and 2. Now, moving away from the switches, the Pulsar X2 is featuring the PAW 3395 sensor, which runs flawlessly here. The scroll wheel has very defined steps, similar to the G Pro Superlight, but the wheel itself is not quite as high as the GPX, which I definitely prefer. Scroll wheel is also using a TTC Gold encoder. Also, Pulsar has software for the X2, which I would recommend downloading to ensure that your polling rate is set to 1000 Hz, and to change the debounce time, as I believe out of the box it's set to 12 milliseconds. With the software, you can also get more precise visual of where your battery life is. And speaking of battery life, I've had no issues with it, got about a week with heavy playtimes. As for feel and hand, my hands are 19:9 and the Pulsar X2 Mini feels really great. For me, claw grip and especially fingertip grip feel amazing on this mouse. If you have medium-sized hands, you can get away with the more relaxed claw grip style, but for large-sized hands, you will need to aggressive claw this mouse. At that point, you may be better off with the medium size. As for the hump, it's not quite as similar to the XM1R as people believe it to be. The hump is more towards the center versus the XM1R is more towards the back of the mouse. With that being said, the hump really lines up nicely in the palm to give that secure feel. With the slight grooves on mouse 1 and 2, you start to feel locked in. Now, the sides don't have as much curvature as something like a Starlight or an XM1R. They're a lot more blocky like the G Pro Superlight, which can be a good or bad thing for you. If you really love the GPX and you have a claw grip style, the medium version of this mouse will be very similar to the GPX, but with a more forward claw grip style. Now, if you tried the GPX and you liked the overall shape, but maybe it was a bit too big for you, then the mini version of this is gonna be perfect. Also, if you just tend to prefer smaller mice to have more control over it, or you fingertip grip the mice, then the mini version, once again, definitely for you. The stock skates out of the box feel pretty good. They have nice texture to them on the Artisan Zero, the Otsu, the Heian, but Lethal Gaming Gear does have core pads and core pad grips available on their store. As for the coating on the mouse, it can be a little slick. If your hands sweat a lot, then you'll definitely will want to pick up some grips. And for in-game performance, I had a really great time using this mouse in Apex and Valorant, especially on a more controlled pad. My flicks and tracking with the X2 was some of the best I felt with the mouse in a while, and I feel like the X2 Mini is probably my favorite iteration of a small mouse category. At $95 with the 3395 sensor, Kel 8.0 switches, and that 52 gram weight, I don't really see many mice on the market that can beat that value, and I would definitely recommend if you're looking for a cheaper GPX, but with a better shape. They're also dropping a few new colorways in the coming weeks, so that's something to keep your eye out for. Anyways guys, that's my quick review on the Pulsar X2 Mini. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them below, and don't forget to like the video as well if you enjoyed. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.